Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Phoenix and this is the Consumer's Guide to Filmmaking. Together, 2025, Michael Shanks. This film follows a couple named Tim and Millie. Having decided to move to a new town, their move is made all the more complicated by a botched marriage proposal. Trying to reconnect while in their new abode, Tim and Millie go on a seemingly pleasant hike until they get lost and fall into a hidden pit. Stranded, Tim decides to stock up on water from a nearby spring in the cave they landed in. However, this decision would prove unwise, as this water has now cursed him and Millie to start fusing together mentally and physically. The relationship already rocky, and with magic powers beyond their comprehension literally destroying them, Tim and Millie must find a way to save themselves from a ghastly fate. Man, this director really thought he was doing something here. And not to say the movie was horrible, because it wasn't that. It was fun. It just didn't resonate with me. I think what bothered me most about this film was the writing. This film had a particularly bad case of not knowing what it wanted to really be. When the film took itself seriously, it was indie horror movie 101. It was pretty much plug-and-play tropes and cookie-cutter writing where every scene was so obvious in its purpose and what it was trying to spell out for the audience that it hurt. I wanted to rip my goddamn hair out when that teacher guy started spouting Plato like it was some fucking revelation. Good job, Mr. Shanks. You read some Greek philosophy in college. Fuck off. Add to that, the characters of Tim and Millie weren't all that interesting. Dave Franco and Alison Brie, given the fact that they are married, had a baseline level of natural chemistry that aided in the proceedings. They sold the material pretty well, admittedly. But going through these plotting scenes that, let's be real, would be dead in the fucking water in any fucking rom-com or romance drama was really hard. Even with fucking Dave Franco and Alison Brie doing a good job. Oh wow, she threw her boyfriend's story back at him in the big second act fight. Fucking riveting stuff. Oh my god, I totally haven't seen that in a million other fucking movies. But for moments, when this film stops incessantly rimming its own ass and tries to be fun, goddamn, it was a good time. The body horror set pieces Shanks conjured up for this gimmick were unreal. And when he leaned into the absurdity of the premise, it was great. I loved the scene in the toilet stall due to the fact that I was shocked he went there with that bit. Also, the entire last leg of the film, from the electric saw onwards, was a goddamn riot. If the entire film was as fun as those portions, oh my god, I'd be all for it. Directing-wise, Shanks isn't exactly wowing me with most of his work here. I dug the top-down shots a ton. There was a great shot of Franco and Brie walking through the forest that was top-down, which really hit the theme tone nicely. Otherwise, though, I found it to be very similar to its contemporaries in terms of lighting and framing. Musically, the original score sounded like horror movie music. A lot of coarse strings, droning synths. It wasn't impressive in terms of arrangement or composition. There were some kind of cute uses of licensed music, such as the ending, which uses the Spice Girls of all things to decent effect. But clearly, the selling point of this movie is the body horror, and Shanks clearly put his money where his mouth was with this film. While it was majority computer effects, it still looked really cool seeing Franco and Brie's bodies getting stuck to each other and blending together. Those bits were very well presented. The bit with them in the bathroom stall was great in terms of how much they showed and how much it, was presented well. And like I said earlier, I was shocked he went that far with the bit. The times there are practical effects in this film, though, while few and far between, are decent. Some nasty looking wounds and cuts, pretty damn good makeup for those, I gotta say. I think this film was a good crowd movie, if nothing else. My podcast co-host Kara, who I saw this with, and the people in the theater were really into it. I, however, was only into it for fleeting moments when it leaned into its absurd humor. Otherwise, I was just not digging what this film was putting out there. As good as Dave Franco and Alison Brie were, and as fun as some of the set pieces could be, it wasn't enough to carry Shanks mid-script and his perception that he made something cooler than it actually is. If you dig body horror, then you may get something more out of this than I did. Otherwise, I wouldn't be rushing to see this one. Do keep it in mind for a movie night during the spooky season, though. It's a riot with friends. And I'm feeling 5.5 out of 10 on this one. Just wasn't a big fan. Catch you later, guys.